Hey guys, welcome to Two Guys and a Mouse, the show that gives you all the Disney news, tips, and tricks to get you the most out of your Disney vacation. I'm Lance, and we're here with Les, and today we're going to talk about Disney Springs, what it is, why we love it, and why you're going to love it too. All of that is coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to discuss Disney Springs, and we're going to talk a little bit about what Disney Springs is, a very short history of Disney Springs, and then we're going to tell you what we love about Disney Springs and what you guys are going to love about it, and some tips to help you guys along on your Disney vacation. Before we get too far into the video though, I just want to say if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turning notifications on so that you know whenever we release new content. Also, if you like the video, please like and share it with your friends. It'll really help out the channel. So, starting out, let's talk about what is Disney Springs. Well, Disney Springs is the outdoor shopping, dining, and entertainment complex located at the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. So basically, it's Disney's mall, if you will. It's an outdoor mall. You know, there's restaurants, there's bowling, there's shops, all kinds of stuff. So how did Disney Springs come about? Well, Disney Springs opened in March of 1975 as the Lake Buena Vista Village. Now, over the years, it's been named many things, including Walt Disney World Village in 1977, Disney Village Marketplace in the 80s, and Downtown Disney in the 90s. In the 2000s, it was renamed to Disney Springs, and that's what it's called today. Okay, the site was basically opened so that Disney can keep people on property longer and effectively, spend their money on Disney property instead of going elsewhere to, say, the outlet malls or to a competitor's property for shopping, right? So I'm going to turn it over to Les, and Les is going to tell us why he loves Disney Springs and his three favorite things about Disney Springs. So.
All right, so yes, I absolutely love Disney Springs. And after you've gone to Disney probably a few times, you kind of have a routine that you like to settle into or that works for you and your family. So typically what we do right now is the first place that we go when we arrive in Orlando at the greater Walt Disney World property complex, we typically go right to Disney Springs. Why do we do that? Mostly because we get into town before our room is ready, so it gives us a place to go, use the restroom, get a bite to eat and some drinks if we're hungry and thirsty. But I head to Disney Springs first, and for me it's very exciting. And I coming down the escalator from the parking garage, I always go to the same parking garage as I come down into the property. It just fills me with excitement and happiness because I know that I'm in Orlando and I'm at Walt Disney World. So what you'll find when you get on property is one of these handy dandy guide maps, and this is my 50th anniversary edition from my trip in October, and this basically has a map of the entire property. It'll tell you about all the restaurants, all the shops, restrooms, where they're located, everything you need to know. Absolutely pick one up, and it'll help you walk around if you haven't been there in a while and things have changed, or you've never been there at all. So why do I like it? So we love it because there's just so much to do. Shopping options. We love the Lego store. So there's a decent sized Lego store there. They have so many different things. Obviously a lot of Disney related and Star Wars themed Lego sets. But that is a must do for us every single time. And the Coca-Cola store. So there's a couple of different parking garages, but where we park, right where we come onto the property, is the Coca-Cola store. And I grew up loving and drinking lots and lots of Coca-Cola. And I love to go in there and see all the merchandise that they have. And it is a 3-story building. Up on the top floor, you can actually go to a bar. There's a bar up there. It serves Coca-Cola, obviously. But it also serves some alcoholic drinks and some snacks. And it's outdoors on top of the building, and it gives you a great view of some of Disney Springs. So we like to hit that too first. And there's a pin trader store that's on the far side of the property that has tons and tons of different Disney pins. So I always like to hit that as well. Food, tons of food options. So Lance asked me to pick up my top three, and so what I wrote down for this recording was I like the Boathouse. Absolutely fantastic restaurant, very good seafood, as you would hope to expect at a restaurant called the Boathouse. But great drinks, not only great food, but great drinks. STK, which Lance and I ate at on our most recent trip. Fantastic steak. The crowd seemed to be younger, but still great food. The cast member who waited on us was fantastic. All around great experience, and I will definitely take my family there in the future. That was my first time when Lance and I went in January, so looking forward to going back. And while this one is not, my third choice is not a sit-down restaurant, it's actually quick service. It's Cooks of Dublin. So it's an Irish-themed quick service restaurant. And outside there's a seating area with umbrellas and tables, chairs. There's a bar, just like you would have at an Irish pub. I always get the fish and chips. I've never had anything there but the fish and chips, but it is so good. The portions are big, even though it's quick service. I always walk away from there very full. And after we get our food, we go out, we get a table, or we wait for a table. Once one opens up, we sit down, and I always go and I get a pint of Guinness from the bar. So yeah, it's not a sit-down restaurant. It's not fancy by any means, but I love the food and I love the atmosphere of being outdoors. And the other thing is, so besides the dining and the shopping, is the entertainment. There is entertainment in all areas of the Disney Springs property. Typically you'll see more stuff. There is stuff during the day, but at night there's a lot of musical acts. So and something for everybody. It's not just music. It could be there are dance troupes that are out there performing, and just all kinds of musical acts. It's really fantastic place to be. So
Yeah, I agree. It's like Les had mentioned, when you start going to Disney World and vacationing regularly, you get into a kind of a groove. And for me, Disney Springs is very much part of that groove, and we like going there. And typically we'll go there for dinners, or what we do is we'll figure out a date night if we're not going to resort hop. But I like going to Disney Springs with my family because it's convenient. I don't have to leave the property. I can take Disney transportation. There's lots of shopping options. You've got Disney shopping. You've got non-Disney branded shops that you can shop at. There's food choices galore. There's something for everybody. My kids, they love going to the T-Rex and the Rainforest Cafe, and adults have any number of bars and restaurants that they can choose from that will suit anybody's palate at Disney Springs. So my three favorite places in Disney Springs actually are STK Orlando, which I've been to twice, once with Les, once with Alyssa. The steaks are great. The staff is amazing. When I went there, we got there a little bit early for a date night with Alyssa, and we actually sat at the bar a little bit before our table was ready, and the staff was phenomenal. They know that I was from out of town and I wanted to try some local beers, and even though it wasn't the season for the dark beers because it was summertime, they actually went out of their way, went into the cellar or the storage area to bring out some of the different local beers that weren't necessarily in season at STK. I also love the Boathouse. Been there a couple of times, and what I like about the Boathouse is their menu rotates seasonally because it's all fresh local ingredients that's sourced locally in Florida. So sometimes you may have these big giant bone-in New York strip steaks that are locally sourced, and sometimes you might grab a big giant ribeye that's locally sourced. I'm a steak guy through and through, so I'm always talking about the red meat. But yeah, the beer selection again is top notch. They usually set up an outdoor bar area if they're really busy, so that the overflow crowd, while they're waiting for the table, can enjoy a spirit or two while they wait for their table. And then my last pick is the T-Rex, which my kids love to go to. Now, T-Rex is very similar to the Rainforest Cafe, where it's themed with animals like dinosaurs and things like that. And my kids absolutely love going there. Not only for the theming, but the food. The food's really good. I have been there in the past, and I've never been disappointed with any. Actually, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've never been disappointed with any Disney food ever. So regardless of whether it's a Disney-owned restaurant or it's a, third-party restaurant that is on Disney property, never ever been disappointed. So those are my top 3 choices for Disney Springs. And next we're going to talk a little bit about, some rookie tips for Disney Springs. And I'm going to turn that over to Les so he can talk a little bit more about that.
All right. So first of all, because it is a Disney property, you may or may not expect to have to pay to get into this. And the answer is you don't. This is completely free and open to the public. And if you've ever been there, or if you ever take a trip to Disney World, which we hope you do, and you go to Disney Springs, you will see that it can get really full. And that's because this is a mall like any other mall in any other city or town that is open to the public. You do not have to be a Disney guest or staying on property or anything special to go to Disney Springs. It is open to anyone and everyone. So no admission at all. Go and come as you please, as many times as you want. There are many sit-down restaurants there that are Disney owned and themed. And so that's another benefit, is you don't have to go into the resorts or into the parks to enjoy one of their great restaurants. So definitely a benefit there. Fantastic food. I mean, they have great food and drink options, just the same as the famous sit-down restaurants in the parks and in the resorts. So lots of great food choices. If you're limited on park days, or you just want to take a break, which we highly recommend you do, instead of going full steam ahead for a week straight in the parks, which some people like to do, and some people like to take a break halfway through. Disney Springs is a great opportunity and a great place to go if you're looking for a down day, that you're not going to be in a park, or maybe you want to do a park for only half a day and then you're looking for something else to do to relax the other half of the day. Disney Springs is a great place to go and relax and walk around, taking the sights, taking the entertainment, and the food and the drinks like we talked about earlier. It does stay open later than the parks do, so it actually, depending on the season and depending on the day of the week, it actually can stay open till Lance, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, something like that, like 11:30 at night, I think, in the busy season.
Yeah,
it stays open till.
And that doesn't mean that the stores are open that long. The stores still have like what their standard hours will be, but like entertainment will be there.
Yeah.
So there are still things to do, even as maybe the stores and the restaurants start to close down. There'll still be entertainment. You can still walk around and enjoy the atmosphere. So,
yeah. And the bars, I think, stay open till at least midnight or 11:30 during the busy season. And that's the other thing is during the high season, the busy tourist season, at night, in addition to the entertainment, you're going to have, some adult beverage stations strategically placed throughout Disney Springs, so you can walk around and grab a adult beverage or two while you shop or while you hang out and watch some musicians play a concert or whatever, right?
Yeah, definitely stuff to do until they basically kick you out. So
yeah, for sure.
And then transportation, right? So if you are staying on property, you don't need a car to get here. There are buses that will run from every single resort and take you to Disney Springs. So you don't even need to worry about transportation. Disney will get you there. Buses will start picking up roughly 45 minutes before Disney Springs opens for the day, and then return buses from Disney Springs back to the resorts will run up to 1 hour after everything closes down. So transportation is provided for you. Again, you don't have to worry about that. All right, so that's pretty much it for the rookie Disney tips and tricks, and I'm going to turn it back over to Lance for the pro tips.
Sure. Thanks, Les. So yeah, some tips for the veteran Disney goers out there. So one of the tips that we talk about is using Disney transportation, and this one's kind of an important one. So as Les mentioned, it is open to the public and it is completely 100% free to enter. And that also includes parking. Now, you are welcome to drive your own vehicle and park in any of the parking garages that are there. However, you are subject to a security screening when you go and park yourself. So pro tip, if you are staying on property, take Disney transportation, one of the buses, or when they're running minivans, and you don't have to go through the cattle chutes. Like, they have these big, cattle chutes where they kind of funnel all of the guests in, and as they go through the metal detectors. So number one, far less crowded to go through security, and number two, you don't have to go through with the general public through the security screening. You just basically can walk right into Disney Springs because the buses have a separate entrance for you, and those are for the resort guests. So another tip for our veteran Disney goers is at World of Disney, take advantage of the self-checkout. You have the option with your My Disney Experience app. You can bypass the lines and not have to wait for an actual cast member to check you out. What you do is as you purchase your items, you scan them into your MDE app, but then you can check out using your MDE app, and then you walk out to a self-checkout station, show them the receipt on your MDE app. They'll put all of your purchases in a bag, and you're free to go. It's very quick. It's very convenient. We've done this on our last trip, Les, and it was very, very convenient and very fast. I didn't have to wait in line, and I was ecstatic about that. So another pro tip for the veteran Disney goers out there is go to Disney Springs, and you can resort hop to any number of the resorts basically just from Disney Springs, because there is no direct transportation from resort to resort. So if I was going to say have a date night with Alyssa at the Boathouse and I was staying at like the Pop Century, we'd hop on a bus to Disney Springs and then get right off our bus, walk down, maybe 25 feet to the next bus that'll take us to the beach club or the yacht club resort. So excuse me, I said Boathouse, I meant the Yachtsman, not the Boathouse. Boathouse is at Disney Springs. But use the Disney Springs transportation to resort hop because it's convenient. They're all right there, and you can check out any number of the Disney-owned resorts that have bus service to Disney Springs. The last pro tip that we have for you is, being a veteran Disney goer, you may or may not be an annual pass holder or a DVC member. Be aware that some of the non-Disney operated and owned restaurants may or may not honor your discount at a given time. On our last trip, Les and I went to STK. All good things to say about it, but we weren't able to use our annual pass holder / DVC discount for our meal because we were there on a holiday. And while they do normally give the discount, they don't do it on a holiday. So just be aware of that. Know before you go. Make sure you read the restaurant or the Disney website so that you know which discounts are applicable when. So before we wrap it up, Les, do you have any final thoughts or tips for our fans and followers out there?
Yeah, just to follow up on what you just said, another example is a third-party restaurant that is non-Disney owned. So like T-Rex and Rainforest Cafe, those are actually owned by Landry's Incorporated. So they are not Disney properties, and they will not accept the annual pass holder or DVC discounts. But what they do have is their own Landry's discount program. I believe you have to pay for that. I do have my card here, Landry's card, so I'm pretty sure I had to pay for that. I picked it up at Rainforest Cafe back in 2017 or 2018. That card is not only good for the Landry restaurants without are throughout Walt Disney World properties, because there's more than those two. But at any of the restaurants throughout the country, you can use that discount card at. And not only does it get you a discount once you buy into the membership, but if you flash that card, you're going to have to make a reservation, just like you do any Disney sit-down restaurant. You can try and walk up, but getting in is very tough to do. But if you have the membership card and you flash it, that actually puts you to the front of the line when you're trying to get a seat and sit down and eat. So also has an additional benefit that actually Disney does not do for you. So just the last veteran tip there for you. I highly recommend everybody go to Disney Springs. Again, if you haven't picked up on it, I absolutely love Disney Springs. It's a great place to go and hang out, relax, people watch, get some good food, some good drinks, and some good entertainment. So we hope you can go sometime in the future, hopefully the near future, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, same here. Love Disney Springs. It's a great place to hang out and enjoy your down day, or even your after park day. You know, sometimes Animal Kingdom closes early, so on our Animal Kingdom day, we'll go to Disney Springs right afterward for dinner or whatever. But yeah, guys, in the comments below, let us know what your favorite restaurant is at Disney Springs and why you like it. So we'd love to hear from you guys, but that about wraps it up for today. We appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us today. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.